everybody, it's Felisa. It is a late day in my neighborhood. It is gray, it's 33 degrees. This day is gray though. Maybe I won't mention that anymore because it's obvious it's gray. Anyway, I'm on my way home, child. It has been the longest day ever. And that is because of the insomnia that I told y'all about. Like, I really do need to get myself together. What's funny is I was having a conversation with somebody in our break room, as you do, and the conversation turned to menopause, as it should. Anyway, so I didn't even really make the connection. She was telling me that Taraji P. Henson had an interview where she was saying that, you know, since she's been in menopause, her anxiety has been through the roof. And I promise that I didn't even really make the correlation and the connection to that until she said it. Now, I'm in healthcare, and one would think that with all my schooling, that I would recall that that is in fact a thing. One of the problems and the challenges for me is that, you know, that's probably the last thing that I think about, because if that is indeed a symptom, it's a weird one to me. Like, I had rebuked, in the name of the ancestors and the Father, anything that have to do with a hot flash or a mood swing or, you know, any of that nonsense. I do not need to be more affected in my mental status than what I already am. The kind of crazy that I am right now is just manageable by the people in my life. I cannot afford to go off the deep end. Not nan time at all. I don't think that people around me will be able to take it. I don't think that I am able to I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Furthermore, since I am a single woman as of today, if something should happen to me when I'm older, I don't need for my children to be pointing to this event in my life and deciding that that is why we put mom in a nursing home. I just don't want to create that kind of karma for myself. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to have mood swings and hot flashes and all kinds of nonsense. So when it came to the anxiety and to this whole insomnia, I didn't even think about that. I didn't make the correlation. So, you know, I'm kind of following up because, pardon me, my lips was dry. I'm following up because I do want to do some research into that. I want to see, I did some like brief research, and by brief research I mean I googled it, and I saw that there was a high percentage of women who report that they are plagued with insomnia at some point during menopause, and this is attributed to a decrease in estrogen, blah 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 blah. So now I'm wondering if my ritual is not the only issue. So now I need to figure out, you know, like, what do I need to do? And I know that when I had my annual exam back in April, like, I asked my physician every year. Ladies, if you don't know this, you can ask your physicians every year to do blood work to see where your hormone levels are. And there is an indicator to your hormone levels as to whether or not you may be entering into menopause. Now, this is where the fun begins. I also know that perimenopause or premenopause can span up to 10 years before you actually are in menopause, which means that I could literally spend the next decade until I'm 60 with this nonsense. I want to be on the record as saying that this is BS. I don't know who came up with this, but there has got to be a better system. You would think that in 2019, with all of the biological advances and scientific advances that we've had, that there would be some kind of cure for menopause and this kind of foolishness. No, ain't nobody working on us. Nobody's looking for us. Nobody's trying to check for us and make sure that we okay. But whatever. I was excited, though, to find out or be reminded of this information, because I do think that it would be helpful in the long run. And even if my insomnia is not directly related to premenopause or menopause or what have you, it's still good information to know, which is why I'm sharing it, because while it may not necessarily be the source of my inability to sleep through the night like a big girl, it may be a source of your insomnia if someone is out there and they're suffering from some of the same kinds of things that I've been going through. So I wanted to pass that on, because the more you know, the more you grow. each one teach one, and all the other kind of sayings that we have. So yeah, so I wanted to come out and share that. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about the idea that we don't have proper etiquette when it comes to menopause and managing of menopausal symptoms. I was also having another conversation at work with one of my colleagues, as you do. And I'm so grateful to work with a bunch of women, because we just have really dope, meaningful conversations that, you know, probably get into the realm of TMI, but shoot, you sharing it, I'm sharing it, and we're trying to help each other. Anyway, you know, she was talking about, you know, just her whole, you know, her hair and her skin and, you know, all kinds of things that are going on, and her response to certain things, which is why I was saying that I don't want to delve into that crazy. I just think that it's a really good idea to be aware of, you know, where you are on the continuum or the spectrum, because not only do you have to deal with the moodiness and the, you know, the insanity that comes with, you know, being in your fertile window, you know, the ebb and the flow of your hormonal balance throughout your years, and you do that for 30 years or more, then you got to be worried about, you know, now your hormones are doing a flat line and on life support. It's freaking havoc. We need to talk about this. We do. We need to have more open dialogue. We need to talk about how it's affecting us, and, you know, just be more forthcoming. It is what it is. It's a natural state of life. I do think that that might help the fellas understand a little bit more, even though, you know, I hesitate, because a lot of times women are disqualified for being emotional and blah blah blah, and it's our hormones and all this kind of stuff. No, y'all got emotions too. Y'all don't just have like one or two. Y'all got all the emotions. You just don't like to feel them. You don't like to delve into them because you feel like it has something to do with your manhood. But a lot of y'all really have the male version of a cycle. Just crazy for no reason. But you won't call it that. And dare I not offend, but I have been married. And I've been in a long-term relationship. A couple. Yeah. Y'all just as crazy as we are. You just don't show it in the same way. Argue with your mama. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to come out. I wanted to give that information. I wanted to do like this quick update. That'll be my second entry into Vlogmas, maybe a part 2 for my Insomniacs. Is that a word? It is today. For people who are suffering from insomnia out there, and maybe that's the source. And if it is, perhaps you can talk to your physician about, you know, whether or not you need to be on hormone replacement therapy. Not everybody is eligible or appropriate for HRT, but if you are, maybe that's something that you can do to help to mitigate or to ease some of the symptoms that you may be feeling. Also, you know, you want to make sure that you're having comprehensive conversations with your primary care physician, but also indulging in, you know, self-care, making sure that you do those things that promote good and restful sleep. No caffeine, no alcohol, chocolates, stimulants, uppers, downers, and all that kind of stuff, whatever it is that you like to say. No judgment. Yeah. I'm Felisa, and I'm going to talk to you later.